Alright, so today we are going to have part 3 of my little end of the year lecture series. Part 1 and 2, much like this one, we are exploring some of my more memorable games. The first lecture had games from the beginning of my Go career, where I was of the opinion that influence was awesome and it was like the only way to play Go. But then you kind of start playing against stronger opponents, and we go into lecture 2, where I realize that maybe it's not a good thing to play for influence all the time. It's a little bit hard to hold on to it. And I ran into some rather mixed results. Sometimes it was, just complete one-sided games. It made you think you were just like a pro player in disguise. And other times you just get horribly beaten down. So I was trying to look for a middle ground in my play, which kind of brings me to the end of that lecture, where I showed um, essentially how my Go was evolving, how I was beginning to kind of try to find that middle ground. And sure enough, as I was finding that, I kept rising in the ranks to today's lecture, where I'm going to show a game against Fordon, because you might remember in the beginning, on the first lecture, I managed at 8Q to play a Fordon, and I won. So the goal that I kind of had for myself was to get back to Fordon, because I wanted to play and crush them some more. So my first game will be a game against a Fordon. It was one of the first ones that I remember winning, which is why I saved it. So here I should put in, let's see, once again, do I dare put in my name? I mean, what if I want to use these names at some point? Then I just can't because they're all on video. I don't know, I'm kind of partial to this name still. Uh, no, we're not using it. Not showing it. Not showing it. Oops, nope, that's Fordon, moron. Not gonna show it. Alright, once again, these are all on IGS. Because keep in mind, my progress was a little bit quick, so I really didn't have many other places to play. KGS still hadn't really taken off yet. I hadn't completely devoted myself to, what was it? I hadn't devoted myself to the Chinese servers that I always play on now. What date was this played? I don't know. Somewhere back in late 2001, I want to say. However, and I'm glad that it was just brought up. At this point, IGS sadly went through a change. And one of those changes was they boosted everything up 3 ranks. They got rid of the whole 4 Dan being the top thing, and now it's 7 Dan. Yes. So that was a little bit disappointing, and I was going to save it for a comment at the end, but what you're about to see is kind of a reflection of that disappointment. No, I didn't go from 1K to 3D overnight. So we begin off fairly normally, and I say fairly normally because we've kind of shucked off our old way of playing, though we are still finding some people who do have our old way of playing, who have gotten to where they are by kind of going for the whole influence style, which is rather interesting. So I approach wanting to break it up, because at this point I still have very, very vivid memories about Um, I have no idea, maybe? I don't know who that is, or if he wrote Go books, or if that's him. I have no idea. But yeah, at this point, what was I about to say? Right, I have vivid memories of influence and how horrible it can be if you let it get out of hand. So at this point, I do have a very, very strong weakness in my play that anytime I see anyone opening up influence-oriented, I kind of go into paranoid mode, and my only thoughts are I need to destroy that before it gets out of hand. Because at this point, I've had like a year of experience just playing that style, and I know how badly it can crush someone. So I immediately approach on the inside. I'm not going to try and do anything else. He pincers wide, so I recognize I can't get anything there, so I change directions. He still tries to build up, which is fine. I have a Joseki of choice at this point, where I just take territory, which is immediately a very big difference, because you would remember from the beginning of this lecture series that this sort of result is not one that I would have been interested in the past. I would have been interested in, well, for starters, I wouldn't have approached on the inside. I would approach on the outside to develop influence. And then even after changing directions, I would want to, again, build influence on the right-hand side, because that's what my entire game would have been. Influence, influence, influence. But here, I recognize it's kind of hard to hold on to that, as long as I recognize that it's being developed. So I'm fine with this. I'm going to try to use that as Aji to kind of get rid of it. He instead is playing a little bit passively and trying to build up with that particular influence. He's interested in the entire right side of the board. I'm going to play just for territory, because like I've said, my style has completely changed at this point. I'm not going to develop frameworks, I'm going to go after points, and I'm going to be happy to reduce in something that's hopefully going to be a much more solid style than what I used to play in. Unfortunately, I take it a little bit too far. Here he approaches again, and I play low, which doesn't really make any sense. If I'm going to play anything here, I should play high, because I've got that right-hand group. I shouldn't be afraid to do this. Even playing a pincer here, to use with my upper right-hand corner, would be okay, but I'm kind of overcompensating, and like I said, that's a bit of a weakness with my play right there, is influence. I'm worried that if I don't do anything about him, he's going to grow very, very large. And if I go for influence, it's going to come crashing down around my ears. So I try not to go for influence, and I overly respond to theirs. So that's just a weakness in my play at this point. Kick then high? I don't think I'd, well, nowadays I would consider it, but actually, yeah, I might consider that. But right now I'd probably just do high and be satisfied. Why kick? That's a lecture in and of itself. It's usually regarded as bad to, let's say, give your opponent this particular extension, right? It can be okay, though, in certain circumstances. One, if you've actually got development that you can do. Two, if you can expand from something by putting pressure on it, or even just have something in mind to invade it with. If you really, really need Sente, there's a list of reasons why when you should and shouldn't use a kick, and I've actually been considering doing a lecture on just this move. So you might see that more detailed explanation at some point in the future. Suffice to say, I backed off, and he is going to settle. A little bit of an unusual manner. He decides that he wants my corner, which, you know, is okay. I don't descend because my Joseki is horrible, so I just extend down, which creates less aji. And then I back off, trying to get shape. Not the right move at all. Should extend down. I get this for, whoops, frack. I get this for free. And then I might even play a larger move here. But whatever. I play this instead. Huzzah. He goes to limit me, fairly good, gets to build up. I try and reduce his corner, or his influence. And then, because I still haven't done anything against any of this, I go into... happy face. I go into a little bit of, again, jealous mode, yeah. And I immediately try and reduce. And watch as my voice goes to crap. 1 second. Sorry about that. Don't go in because I'm afraid that he's going to develop on the outside still. I want to try and get a 2-space extension on the left-hand side. He invites me to it, but he invites me to it by attaching. So I attach right back to him and just live here. He gets to pick which way he wants to cut. He chooses this way. Whoops, my bad. That's not what I played. Awesome. I played this way instead because I don't want to be locked into the corner. Good idea, probably not. I should have just taken the corner instead. Oh well. Because now my shape sucks. Which is typically what you don't want to give your opponent. I mean, right now, today, I realize that Black probably just lost the game if this was actually played. Because instead of trying to, again, develop on the top, should probably beat the crap out of my shape here. That way I'm running. Because this is too direct. This is going to let me live. And it's kind of the style that I used to have at that point. It's the style where I would be like, okay, this group is going to live, so let's just try and get influence at the top of the board so I can keep developing. Whereas here you should really, really just poke me instead. That way I'm going to have to run, he's going to get the top anyway, and there's still going to be a weak group. Yeah, I should extend along the bottom side. Yeah. That would also be better. So I made a bad move, and then he made a bad move as well. Oops. There we go. So he plays this way. I aggressively Hane, because this doesn't work, unfortunately, but true. So that is now fine. And now I'm more or less alive. Because I'm more or less alive, he decides to approach again. Really, really odd. And immediately you guys are probably thinking to yourself, this is a really odd forward on. Not really a overly, I kind of want to call it not really a very strong game. I mean, is it Dawn level? I guess, sure. But not really the mid-Dawn strength that you're probably used to seeing. To which I'm going to completely agree with you and hit upon this note in a little while. I pincer instead of kick because I'm dumb. And the only thing I know at this point is, well, I can pincer this, and then he can attach to me, and I'm fine with that. And so I was pretty much using that exclusively. Again, my Joseki knowledge wasn't the best at this point. Well, I had ones that I played almost exclusively, which also hurt my play, but oh well. He gets to come out. I'm, of course, going to poke at that, make certain it's not alive. And now here's something that should surprise most of you. He decides to attack me. Okay, nothing unusual there. Because he decides that he wants to play a Ko. Okay, nothing too unusual there. Whoops, my bad. We're messing up the tree all over the place. But what's more surprising is I'm actually going to go for the ko. Believe it or not, I actually played ko way back when. So when he plays here, I come out. He plays the Hane. Immediately, maybe I should take the ko now and get rid of the Hane and get rid of the cut. But we're not going to do that. We're going to invite it. So he gets the opportunity to cut me, and this just turned huge. This game, I actually don't lose a ko, believe it or not. It's absolutely crazy to think that. Yeah, it's completely crazy. But yeah, I did not shy away from kos, and I still kept fighting him. No, I don't play Tengen. He plays ko threats, we fight this for a while. He decides to back off since he's out. I'm happy with that because I get to keep fighting him. And since this resolved very, very poorly, I think you can all see right now that the game is already over, right? Because this is weak, the top is pretty much dead, the right side is getting way too much. He tries to do something here. Yeah, he tries to do something in the middle, but it just doesn't work. Oops, my bad. Wow, this tree is completely slaughtered. I'm going to open up a completely new game in order to do my next one. Doesn't want me to surround him. He's trying to live in two places at once, which is pretty much the worst thing you can ever do in any Go game. So, if you're guessing right now that I was not satisfied by this game at all, you would not be incorrect. I mean, we finally got to Fordon, but we didn't get to Fordon before the change, and now it's so weak I don't care that I'm there. That did not make me happy. Because this game is obviously one-sided, right? Oops, shoot. What is going on? You. There we go. Yeah, that is kind of sad. But what do you suppose that made me do? What do you suppose that made me do? Did I just give up, do you think? Leaving IGS is an interesting idea. I like the set a higher goal, yes. Fordons obviously weren't doing it, so we set our next sights on 6don. We are not going to be happy with anything other than at least 6don on IGS, because the Fordons were no longer worth caring about. They're not the same level of players that I had been watching for the past year. They're now understandably a lot weaker since everything went up 3 ranks. So clearly, our goal had to be adjusted. It was a bit sad realizing that. I thought I'd actually achieved something around this time. It turns out I didn't. But that's okay. 6don is the next goal. And that game is going to be a lot more interesting, because the next game I'm going to show you is a game against myself, finally being able to play well against a 6don on IGS. So because I've completely slaughtered this tree, I'm actually going to open up a new game. I didn't really mean to, but I've misclicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, a real 6don. So I'm going to close this and open up a new game. Can you go back to 45? Okay. 45. Where's 45? 45. That was this one. That was this lovely misclick. I just rescaled its ranks back in like 2002 or something? 2001? Somewhere in there? So what was your question back at 45 there, Romulus? White could play at A16. And make Ko, yeah. Yep. Could do, could do. I really wouldn't recommend that, though, because this attachment is going to give, like, infinite threats. I don't think a Ko would probably be something that White could actually win. It seems like a picnic Ko for Black. Because all Black's trying to do is just reduce something on the left-hand side. And this will ensure that it happens. Anyway, closing this game, opening up another one. And for those of you watching on stream or on YouTube later, yes, the screen just went black. It's because I'm opening up a new game. I don't want to show my desktop. Nothing's on it, though, so I guess I could, but it's just a habit I'm trying to get myself into. And here we are, 3, 2, 1, back with the game. Alright, alright, same account, so I'm still not going to tell you which one it is. I'm not going to give you the name. Give you the name of White, though. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I think this person actually might still play on IGS. Wouldn't surprise me if they did. No! Frack! Ugh, I just typed my name on video. Well, I guess we're never using that name ever again. Oh well. Son of a... No, I'm not gonna go and edit it. Whatever. We're not gonna use a name. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I don't care. And I've got people actually on stream watching. There's like 11 people there, so yeah, it's there now, so whatever. So, at least I didn't show any of my troll names, which is nice. Oh, sorry, do I play in real life? Not very often. The closest... Yes, I am secretive. The closest Go Club is like 45 minutes away or so. I could go to it. They've invited me to like show up multiple times. I don't though, so yeah. Oh, did I use it yesterday? Oh, okay. That's good then. I used it twice. That's right. I used it once when I was a Q, and then I let it disappear, and then I brought it back when I was a Don. Right. I like the feel of real board stones, and I do go over games, professional games on my board, so that's something. Yeah, I did change my nicknames all the time during this period. Longest time I've had an account, though, is actually Badasai here, which is kind of funny. Anyway, this game, my first win against the 6 Don. Spoilers. It was obviously the next goal that I had, because 4 Dons are a bit of a letdown because of the rank change. It's a bit saddening, but it's true. And immediately, I remember this game quite well, actually, because of this move. I really hated people who played Influence against me. Even today, I hate people that play Influence against me. And I guess you guys might kind of see why now. I don't know. But yeah, really disliked it. I took a corner. I figured if he really wants to go influence, well, it can be influential. Anytime someone opened on this side of the star point, it annoyed me. Because more often than not, they tried to play influence. Yeah, but they typically tried to use it for influence. Or they tried to use it for Taisha, yeah. And that kind of angered me. Did not like. Did not like. But then they played normal enclosure, so we're friends again. Unfortunately, it's really slow, so I get to actually take another corner. And if you need further proof that my style is completely changed at this point, this should be all you really need to know. Yeah. I'm sure this is a real 6-dan because this is actually the person I set my sights on, believe it or not. While I was trying to get 6-dan, there were a few 6-dans that I would kind of try and analyze to see what problems there were in their play, because obviously, not trying to learn from them, I'm trying to, kill them. Um, and this is one that I kept seeing over and over and over again. They were like almost always 6-dan. So it was a nice goal for myself, someone that it seems nice and stable, so if I actually manage to eke out a win against them, it might actually mean something. Here on KGS, don't do that to teachers, by the way, just in case anyone gets the idea. Most of the teachers here really hate it when you mark them for death, essentially. Just not nice at all. It's like, hey, play me, I want to kill you. But yeah, definite style change. I'm actually playing lovely diagonal here. He's trying to play aggressively for territory. I'm still backing off rather than doing anything else, for reasons you now know. We're playing a territorial game, but I don't like answering it to 3-3 like I don't like answering it today, because it's too slow. So I go and attack his cornerstone. Unfortunately, at this point, I can't really decide between these 3 points. I don't really know which one I want to take. So I kind of get into a habit that I don't like. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go far away, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go close against for a pincer against his stone. So sometimes I would actually play kind of those halfway points in the middle that I know is bad, but I was just indecisive. So I still see a slight problems with my play. How do you respond? What do you think now? That's a good question. Now I would probably go with L3 more often than not. Because I know I'm not going to be able to kill him, so it's a question of how does it work with my other stones. And right now I'd probably be wanting to do L3 with some kind of follow-up at maybe something like E7 later on to be able to develop something depending on what happens. This is nice and strong, but you have to realize that you're not going to kill them. And in fact, they're probably going to ignore this too, and probably switch over to the right-hand side. Break up this first, and let you worry about killing off that one stone. Because if you're going and using up all of your stones to, whoops, my bad, to kill off the one, they're just going to keep taking larger points elsewhere, and they'll be fine with that. Because this can still be reduced, and yeah. Anyway, so I played there. He came out. I decided to go and develop the bottom. He still breaks. I get a 2-space. And he settles nice and cleanly. So, pretty good shape there, I guess. Gives me Sente, so I can go back and... I can go back and hit the 3-3. Take my corner for myself, see how he plays. He plays low, so I know I can expand later on. But again, influence question, do I really want to go and get into that habit again? Here it would be a good idea. See that I'm not going to. Previously, I would hit these points like my life depended on it, but now I'm just going to go and play away. Take another large point off the board. Unfortunately, I did play a little bit greedy on the right-hand side, and he calls me on it. Now I don't have a really good response. I actually remember vaguely that this move was one that I was just kind of playing around with. I wasn't sure if it was good yet. Can't be harass white at O2. I can harass, but I'm not going to be able to kill. I mean, I can take Aji away by poking at it, but white's going to be fine. How should I play on the right? Honestly, I should have been happy with just about anything. I can't really complain about what I played. Nowadays, I'd probably still want to go low. Actually, nowadays, I should probably play this. And not worry. Because what is he going to do? Lean on me here? I can split that. My stone's not in trouble. I don't really need to play there. No, you can't use the edit. No, you can't use the tool while the game is in line. While the game is on the server, being played out live. You can do it offline. Then you can do cut and pastes and whatnot, but not during a demo. Anyway, so I pincer this, and he of course attaches to my stone, because he's trying to attack my corner, which is very, very good. I back off, I don't want to give him Aji. Unfortunately, that means he's getting to surround me. I try and fight that, but I'm not at all convinced that if I push through, I'm not gonna just die a horrible, horrible death. So I back off, he gets to surround me. There are 500 million cut points though, so that's my only solace. P6 bad. Where's P6? I don't know. It's on the board. P6 bad for who? Ah. You mean here? It's an interesting move. Only trouble with this is that we're going to get very, very, I'd be a little bit worried here. Because I see the idea is to cut through him, right? But he's still going to live in the corner, so I'm not certain what I'm really accomplishing there. I mean, again, I've harassed him, but it feels like I have to go back and play here now. And I've given myself really, really bad shape as well. So it didn't seem very useful. Here, however, I get to have lots of cut points. I don't double Atari because I don't want to lose my stone. I just want to surround. He takes away double Atari. I get to harass him finally in the corner and make him live small, which we're rather happy about. That's not needed, but I was paranoid, so I played it. And N6, I'm going to go back and look at that later. I have no idea. Oh, okay. Now, he plays down, and instantly I have a problem on my hands. I've just been a little bit reduced on the right-hand side. He's not in an obviously weak position. I can't cut him because he can just immediately kill my cutting stone. He's still out, and by jumping out, he can reduce me. So we have a bit of a problem. Do I just try and develop the whole influence thing on the bottom like I would have, back in the day? A few months ago? Do I try and attack this somehow? Do I go and try and develop territory? Do I reduce? Tough decision. In the end, I think I remember being more worried about... Yeah, I remember being more worried about him developing than anything else. Because a lot of my games, when trying to get up to 6 Dan, was a lot of 6 Dans wound up getting influence against me again, which was kind of frustrating. So I remember I decided to try to attack this and poke at cut points. But I can get influence in the center, but I don't have to worry about him locking me out. And if he has to worry about his group in the center, all the better. So we connect on up. He probes my corner, as expected, to see what he's got available there. He doesn't try to live there immediately, because he knows that his group is in trouble, so he jumps on out. I play entirely too greedy for my own good, and shoulder hit him, which he immediately reduces. I try and surround. He responds fairly strong. I should have extended out first, though. And this proves a lot more difficult to actually kill than I thought it was going to be. I thought that this game was instantly won because I was going to surround and kill this. Unfortunately, he cross-cuts. I prevent him from connecting up, but then that just lets him kill off my stone. So that's unfortunate. We actually get to that M4 Co, believe it or not, Calm. So I defend this and he gets to take, but I'm not backing off. So now we have a potential Co here, if he wants it anyway, completely up to him. So we fight this out. I ignore to go to Co, because at this point, believe it or not, I was still playing Co. I wonder what happened to me that I actually stopped doing that. So I actually do remember that I actually won them at one point. And then I began teaching, and I didn't win them ever again. Huh. How weird. There you go. Blame teaching. Don't teach unless you don't want to win co-fights. There you go. So what happened here? I did that and he took. Right. Co-threat against his group. Happy days, happy days. We've got co-threats. Unfortunately, we've got a big problem. We have a potential Co here if I'm not careful. Luckily, he can't fight two Co's at once. And I'm giving him more and more threats, and I realize this. I'm actually losing a lot with this Co fight. It is not favorable to me because I'm slowly but surely losing my middle group and maybe the stones at M5 as well. So I kind of need to end this immediately. That doesn't stop me from, of course, creating more co-threats. So I try and save my center. Confused. Right, he goes there, there, and there. I get to take again, I think. Yeah. But of course, he's got like 800 million co-threats everywhere. Maybe this game is why I stopped playing Co. Maybe. Maybe it's all because of this game. This Co doesn't go well for me. So clearly I don't have like any threats left against him because he's alive everywhere. because he's just mean like that. So all I got, I figure, is trying to develop the top, which I instantly didn't like because I'm going whole trying to use the influence thing again. But really, what other co-threat do I have that's large enough for the entire center of the board? And he responds to me because he knows that, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So we get into this. I don't want a group that's not alive yet. So I just aim to settle. He aims to make it difficult for me to settle. But I do in fact wind up getting to get what I need here. Why I don't take those 2 stones, I have no idea, but I play the Hane. Oh, right, because I still want to kill him. Got it. So he plays here, ensuring I can't actually do that anymore, and he goes back and connects. And as much as I would love to continue down and kill him, I can't, because that Atari would just eat me alive. So he gets to connect up on the second line, though, so there's that. And then we go back into our Ko. He plays here. I think no, I don't. I'm black in this game. He has successfully invaded me at this point just by playing Ko threats. I really, really hate this Ko now. I mean, just by playing Ko threats, he's actually successfully invaded me, and I don't like that at all. Because I don't have Ko threats, I can't keep fighting this, so I back off. I need to save my middle group. I need to end this Ko immediately. And unfortunately, he gets to expand along the top. Now he's actually developing that and not me. Kill off the 3/3. And he gives me Sente, which is now entirely just way larger than I actually want it to be. Because if I make a slow move now, I know I'm probably going to lose the game, and that's depressing. So I try to find what... Wait a minute, I missed a move. Son of a... When did I miss that? Sigh, sigh, sigh. I thought I was doing good, yeah. Right there. Oh wow. Too many lectures back to back. Yep, that one. That's a pretty sizable mistake, yeah. Yeah, he played there as his threat. Right. And my mouth was just like, well, I have to ignore that because I have no threats. Like, I know what happens, I know why I ignored it, and then I didn't even play it. Right? I connect here because I know that this Ko is going to go on forever, and I might even get completely killed in the middle if he gets to break out, right? If I lose this Ko. So I figured I had to just ignore him, which allowed him, as I said, to cut through and, you know, reduce me. So there you go. My words made sense, my moves did not. Alright. Yeah. That's why he successfully invaded, because those stones are in fact dead. And it wasn't until here that I realized, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So yeah. Then he expands, and I defend, and then he does that. Alright. Separation, because I'm not completely alive on top. No, you're reading correct. You're reading correct. But right. My group, I figure the middle upper left is probably going to be okay. Based on very, very, very little reading, I figure it's probably going to be fine. So where is the large point this game? Are there any large points in the game? Are there any weak groups? Well, this, not exactly all that weak. It can kill off this stone, even if I manage to completely and utterly surround it and like poke out all of these shape points, it can probably still just go back and capture and live. So not really all that weak. This group, it's capturing things all over the place, not really all that weak. This is nicely connected, so it looks like white doesn't really have any weak group, so it is black. Well, black unfortunately has lovely small knights, which rumor has it can be cut. So right away our area of interest should be here. And he's even pointing out that area of interest nicely with this approaching stone. A stone that might be by itself, so I figure I need to strengthen myself somehow. And the top is the only area that I can do anything about. So I attach. And sadly, he makes a mistake. He should extend out, because those small knights are just deadly. Instead, he Hane's under, which gives me a really great chance to fix myself. But I guess he was more interested in going after some solid points rather than the attack, which is not what he should do. Which is not what he should have done. He should come out right now, and then I would be forced to find what this group is really going to do. I mean, maybe I can do something like this and just force him to kill it while reducing the center. Maybe that's something. But he gets more territory even that way, so that was a slight mistake from him. Pushes, I defend my territory, he extends up. He saves 2 stones entirely too early. And I might actually pick up a few points because of it. He tries to save some stones, so I have to capture. I don't want him to take the 3. I mean, I won the co for those 3 stones, dang it. They're mine. But now that that's settled, he goes and tries to attack my other group again. Luckily, I can just make an eye here. And I make sure my eye in the corner is nice and sealed. Take, thank you, before pushing out. So, a bit of a close game. I don't want to respond to anything small, so I try and play a reasonable endgame. It's not all that reasonable. Here he can just push out again into my corner, and he does. Pushing better than taking E13? Yes, co and endgame. Unfortunately, these games tended to go to counting. It's very frustrating. Mistake! That's an impressive mistake, too. Not playing the Atari. I like that one a lot. That one was beautiful. It's like, yeah, you can have another extra point over there if you want. That's a really bad habit to be in. So he takes this, and he gets an extra point there later if he wants it as 12. because I certainly didn't take it. All I can do is try and take points in the center, which he immediately goes to reduce. So I don't get very much, and he actually starts picking up a few. He points out his endgame is better than mine. And I agree with him completely. It's like, yep, your endgame is most definitely better than mine. Thank you very much for saying so. Let's not mess up again. Doot, 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 and doot. There we go. Plays a Hane in the corner, because that's worth a lot. Similarly, the Hane was worth a lot for me too, because I could have picked something up. But I don't. So that's great. Instead I go for a Ko. But he backs off. Keep him from reducing because my endgame is balls. Now he actually picks up more points. How many... I should really go back through this game and just for giggles find out how many points I get rid of in endgame. Because so far I've given him how many on top? I mean, I have given up a lot. So I figure that, Sente, let's try not to do that one. Unfortunately, though, I was finally able to... Yeah, I'm surprised I won this too, thanks. Amazingly enough, though... what was it? Yeah, I did leave S12 open in the real game. Yes, I did. The only defense that I have is, though I did finally improve myself, where I could fight 6-dans on an even footing, I could not match them in endgame, because that's not what I was concentrating on this entire time. This entire time I was always concentrating on my opening, always concentrating on, direction of play, identifying weak groups. I was trying to look at things like, just middle and early game. And endgame I didn't spend a single second studying, so it was completely deplorable. Yep, win big or go home. And my reasoning for that was so bad, too. I remember exactly why I thought like that. The idea was that the people I was playing were not professionals, right? So I figured if I actually made it to endgame, where 1 or 2 points actually mattered, then I did something bad and I needed to keep studying. That was what I was thinking. That's why I did not actually study endgame. Like, if I actually get that far, then I need to go back in the game and look where I messed up. Yup! That is another thing that you guys can happily know about me now. I was a very, very arrogant player when I was learning how to play Go. Alright, so he's continuing along. I figure that Sente. What other Sente things can I do? Can I get rid of this? Sure, we can get rid of this. Fighting over, like, no points here. I like it a lot. Though, to be fair, you need either determination or arrogance if you're actually going to have a goal like that one. Like, if you're going to say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to get, like, Don level in my first year of playing. In my second year of playing, let's try for 6 or 7 Don. I mean, if you're actually going to do that, you can't be timid, right? You need something to keep you motivated. You need something to, like, fuel that determination. It could be arrogance, it could be, whatever. What happens? It's only because I'm playing weaker opponents on those games, mo boy. Alright, so I immediately give away Sente again because I'm really, really good at that. I've got that one down pat. One thing I can do in all of my endgame is just give it to my opponent. I'll just let him show me where the good endgame is, and then I'll learn from it. There we go. That's why we did it. We're trying to learn still. So we're going to give Sente to our opponent, and he's going to show us where we should play. See? It's not a mistake. It's clever. It was all worked out. It was all worked out. Ah, no. Bye-bye, tree. Sorry about that. Try and pick up some. Doesn't work. Try to pick up some there. Just get reduced again and then poked. And here is a really good reason of why, you know, middle is not really worth much. I mean, that can be reduced, that can be reduced, that can be reduced. It just poked from all sides. If you need a nice example of why influence can be harmful, that's kind of a little mini example of it. It really just gets shrunk over and over and over again. It's never what you think it is. Alright, I almost misclicked. What does he do? He goes and plays there for a few points, and I Atari here for no reason, I don't think. Probably because I can, that's a good reason. He ensures I can't get points. Take that one instead. Atari, again, who knows why. Oh, wait, I'm actually following that one up. Okay, that makes sense now. I connect, he throws in, don't know why. Maybe it was a time Suji on that time, I don't know. Maybe he was counting. Those happen regularly. He hits this, now I'm concerned about my eye shape, I have to connect. So he actually gets to pick up points here. So again, he's showing me that his endgame is far superior to mine. That's why he threw in. Right. Because I wasn't connected there. And by pointing that out, I have to do that, and he gets to pick up some things later. Yep. Makes sense. Nice 2 points. I go for the 1. Son of a... Bye-bye, tree. Sorry. And I guess I'm going to finish off this game real quick. As long as I stop... Are we actually fighting this Ko? Wow, we are. We are going to fight this Ko. Goody gumdrops. And then I connect. I think that's the last point. He tries to go here, I ignore and block him out there. Which he has to respond to, so I get to take this one. He takes a solid point. Another Ko. I don't think we actually play this one though, do we? No, we're actually fighting the Ko. Sweet! He does that. I have to go here. I am pretending I can win a Ko fight. This is adorable. He backs off. I get to connect. Huzzah! He plays there, and we go to scoring. So I win by a few points. I think it's like pretty much the first, or one of the first games that I actually managed to squeak out a win against a 6-dan, despite my endgame being absolutely atrocious. So that's nice. But I actually felt like I kind of accomplished something. I don't remember what I did at this time. Actually, I might be able to tell you. What did I do? Oh, okay, I actually have the game record here, and on IGS, it's all command-based, right? So the first thing I did after that is I check the observer list. I plug in the command for observers to see who was watching. That was apparently the first thing I did when we were scoring. But yeah, I was rather pleased about that. Now, like I said, it was one of the first games that I did play against 6-Dan. It took me a little while longer to become a stable one, because, you know, just one win doesn't really mean much. But it was the start. It was when I actually started to actually, you know, play them. Evenly, sorry. On IGS, I don't know, I don't play there anymore. Nowadays, I only play on Tygem. Or not, yeah, on Tygem, and that's really about it. No, I have a rank still. Roboduck I don't really play on because Roboduck is the weirdest freaking Go server I've ever encountered. From what I can gather, 7 to about 3-Dan are all 7-Dans on Worldbuduk. It's just this bizarre server. 1 to 6-Dan, I don't really know what they are, but I know 3-Dans that have gotten 7-Dan on Worldbuduk, and 7-Dans that are 7-Dan on Worldbuduk. So, it's just strange. Don't really know what to say about Tygem or Worldbuduk besides that, but I do like Tygem. I'm usually 7-Dan on Tygem. I'm trying for 8-Dan. If I get 8-Dan, I'd be happy. I probably would have been 8-Dan by now if I actually kept studying like a crazy person, like I did to get to 6-Dan. But a very, very tragic story that I will not go into occurred with me and my Go that kind of killed that. Well, I might... do I really want to tell you? I'd have to drop names. Alright, suffice this... do I want this on video? Yeah, okay, I will. Essentially, my progress through Go was interesting me. Because while I was improving, I always heard how people took longer to get to 1-Dan, or they took longer to even get past 1-Dan, or never get past 1-Dan. And that getting that kind of progression, especially without a teacher, was unusual, and this intrigued me because I wondered how much farther I could go. And when I got to playing the 5 and 6-Dans, you know, that's pretty much the end of the road. And I was not satisfied with that, so I was kind of curious if I could actually become a professional. So I kind of started putting that into motion. I contacted some professionals who were currently in Japan, and I wanted an honest evaluation of my play. I won't tell you who I contacted. Suffice to say, I got a rather positive feedback from that. So I decided, alright, why don't we actually try to do this? Why not? They gave me information on who to contact. But as those plans were kind of progressing along, something really, really bad happened. Their student who went to, well, if I actually finished that, you're gonna know who it was. Let's just say they had a slight tragedy in their life with one of their students, and they didn't feel up to taking another one at that point, which pretty much just shattered everything that I was trying to do and pissed me off for about a year. But it was completely understandable. if you knew what happened. They just couldn't take it, so... At that point, I wasn't really certain what I wanted to do. And eventually, when did I create this account? Yeah, I created this account in 2002, this Batasai account. So I decided that I was eventually just going to teach instead. But there's like a huge section in that time where I wasn't really playing and I wasn't really studying. Yeah, I did. And I didn't really care about improving. So I was really, really, really bad for my Go. I slipped seriously when I was doing that. I'm back up to where I should be, though. But I could have been a lot higher if I'd actually continued studying. I probably would have been 8 or 9 done on Taigam right now if I actively continued studying, which I didn't. Now I'm interested, though. Nah, I'm too old for pro. Now I'm interested, though, in trying to get 9 done on Taigam again. So that's kind of my goal, and I've been slowly starting to study again. Not going to tell you. But yeah, that's my happy little story about Go. Anyway, what age did you begin playing Go? 17? Let's see. What day is it? It is... okay. So once again, week after next, we will have... a friend of mine introduced me to Go. He went to New Orleans, he found this game that he'd never seen or heard of before. He brought it back to me and my friends, we all began taking it up, and I kind of had a knack for it. And that's pretty much how I was introduced. Completely randomly. Could not be any more random than someone just, like, taking a vacation and coming back and say, hey, I saw this over there. It's like, alright, let's try and play it. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, this is over. We're gonna have another lecture week after next. I'm kind of trying to find a game that I can find where it kind of demonstrates on a professional level the unreliability of influence and how it can be dangerous even, you know, at the top level. I think that would kind of fit in very well with what we were doing. So it might be on that. I haven't quite decided yet. But thanks for everyone for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this little 3-part series on my more memorable games. And I shudder to think of how I'm going to top this series next year. Do not know what I will do with that. But, alright, thanks for stopping by. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I will